So I know normally when you guys see me like this, there's usually some sort of Killer Instinct related news or update that follows about Killer Instinct in some way. And that's not the case here today. Today it's going to be more of a personal update with me in particular and my status kind of in the world of content creation here on YouTube and on all the platforms that I create content for. To put a long story short, there are going to be some changes moving forward in the frequency of my uploads to YouTube and, of course, my streams as well. And I'm going to be changing the way that my Patreon operates as well. And this all comes down to basically full-time content creation for me is going to kind of be on the back burner to kind of just help better prepare for my future. I became a homeowner back in early February. And it was very eye-opening to me how different things would be when you move into a space that is completely, your own. And content creation has been really, really good to me for a long time. But I think to better prepare for my future and do all the things that I want to do and accomplish all the things that I want to accomplish, not to take it away from anything in here that's behind me, I still have a lot I want to do with my life outside of content and outside of video games and stuff like that. So to continue full-time with content creation, I feel like that's not going to get me where I want to go. And I have no plans to stop content creation fully. But there are going to need to be some changes if I want to keep doing what's best for me and my mental health. I'll be completely honest, doing like daily uploads and here on YouTube, that is, and like even like the thought of streaming anything other than a tournament, it almost seems at this point counterproductive to me, when I could be, there's an analogy that a friend gave to me where they said, if you're a content creator, you have to give 110%, and sometimes you don't earn 100% of that paycheck, and you can work a standard crappy job and give 30% and still get 100% of the paycheck. And that was a very eye-opening sentence to me because it made me realize, this is really draining me now. I do always feel like I give everything I give to you guys, I give it 110% because I love doing this stuff. And I've basically rewired my entire life around it so that I could give you guys the best quality entertainment in matches and tournaments and stuff like that. So it's been very much me trying my absolute best for a long time. And I don't think it's possible to do that without getting burnt out and feeling kind of burnt out because of it. And not only that, but then the mixture of that mixed with the idea that I want to do other things and I kind of want changes in my life. I felt like this is just kind of bound to happen. So it would probably be different if it wasn't, the FGC, if it wasn't just Killer Instinct too, which I've been squeezing dry for a very long time. And the fact that I get as much love and support and generosity and kindness as I do is absolutely mind-blowing to me to this day. And I really do appreciate all the support that I've gotten in these past few years of being a full-time content creator. But even then it's very difficult because it's hard out here. Content creation is a very, very tough competitive industry, and just being like the face of Killer Instinct for me is like, okay, that's awesome. Sure, I love the fact that I'm able to be a recognizable name when people talk about this game. I think that's a great thing, but it's not what I want out of life. There are things that I feel kind of represent who I am that I kind of want to change. I think there are things that I haven't accomplished yet that I would really like to, and there are things outside, like I've already said this, but outside of a gaming space, who is Nikki? Who am I as a person? And that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out for a long time. There's a lot of internal turmoil, that's a tongue twister, that's going on with me right now, and I've been doing well for myself. I've been getting back in shape. I've been focusing more on real aspects of my life, and being a homeowner is really what kind of opened my eyes to this stuff, and it really kind of changed my mind and my perspective about how I see life. And I feel like a totally different person than I was 3 months ago. It's so strange how fast things change. But ultimately, I want to give you guys the rundown on what's going to be happening. Combo Breaker is taking place right now. At the time that you're seeing this, either Combo Breaker already happened, I may have won, I may have lost. That's not the point. That will probably be my last tournament for a long time. I don't plan on attending tournaments for competitive reasons for a while. If we get an announcement for another Killer Instinct game, I don't even know that I want to compete in that. I think that moving forward, I really just want to focus on being a tournament organizer and maybe doing commentary as well. Those are what I've really found to be my passions in this industry, is being a part of tournaments in a way that doesn't include the stress of competing is really what I enjoy. I've been a competitor in this game for almost 10 years and in the FGC in general, and I really just kind of almost feel like I'm at the end of my rope. It's the burnout is severe, and just the entire monotony of like, I'm in a tournament, I'm in pools, I'm in losers, I'm out. Or even the monotony of winning, which sounds insane, but like doing well in Killer Instinct for so long, when it all becomes more of the same, it's like, and I'm not taking any of this for granted. I understand how awesome it is that I've had the success that I've had competitively, but I want something else out of life. You know, I think I have that right as a human being. So for tournaments, I will probably always run them. And I still want to do my weeklies, and I still have plans to run more games in the future. Obviously, Street Fighter 6 is going to become a weekly thing for a little bit. Then we're going to get Mortal Kombat and Tekken involved. As far as I could tell, those games are probably coming out this year. Maybe not Tekken, but I would definitely love to get Mortal Kombat involved and just be able to host tournaments for you guys. I feel like that's a great way for me to give back and to give you guys the content that you want to see without, being directly involved with the content that's been burning me out. I've had a lot of fun doing these other character tournament runs and stuff like that, but it seems to me that it's just eating away at me, and it's like very, very hard to keep up with mentally. So I'm going to be changing how frequently I upload. There will not be any more daily YouTube uploads. It's going to be a couple times a week at best, probably, and it's mostly going to be tournaments with the occasional whatever upload here and there. As far as the Patreon goes, I will not be continuing to do lessons anymore. I'm not going to have the time for it once my schedule changes. So the Patreon is going to change. I would like to rework the Patreon so that whoever is a part of the service, their support could be used to help fund tournaments for prize pools and stuff like that. And I want to use that as a way to help the community, because that's what my Patreon's always been about, is helping players, right? Teaching people how to play the game and stuff like that has been something that was very, very efficient for me for a long time, and I definitely felt like it made a big difference in the community. Right now, there's really no good reason to teach anybody Killer Instinct. It's just a very small game in the community, guys. It's very, very hard to get into if you're looking at it from the outside in. And I always have faith in this game, and I love Killer Instinct, but I think realistically, we're not getting anything. We're not getting anywhere unless we get something, unless we get a new game or something big happens, right? So with that said, there will be no more UU lessons, and instead, my Patreon service is going to be more for supporting tournaments and stuff like that. There will still be incentives for you to help support these tournaments. It's not going to be just like, hey, you sign up and you give these players money. There's going to be something for you. I'm going to work out the plan for that soon. And the UU lessons aren't going to end right away, because obviously I need to go back to work. So that's going to happen, and I'm going to be able to give you guys your lessons until that day comes. So when that day does come, then the lessons will end. Everybody who is a part of the Patreon service will get a heads up with as much time in advance as I could possibly give. TLDR, full-time content creation is coming to a halt, but it is not going to be over. I'm just going to be changing the frequency of my uploads. The Patreon is going to change, and I am still going to be doing tournaments for you guys, but you guys aren't going to get like the consistent tournament runs from me. Being a tournament player is it requires such an insane mind to do this stuff full time as a tournament player and a content creator. That alone is bonkers. Then adding the teaching schedule, and whenever I want to find the time to travel to go to tournaments, and also the content creation, the time that goes into content creation, and then hosting my own tournaments as well and doing commentary and everything that goes into that, it has been a lot of work. I really cannot downplay how difficult of a journey this has been for me so far. And I really feel like it's been said a million times, and I'll say it a million more, but the TOs and the content creators in the FGC that really support their communities are definitely the unsung heroes of the FGC. Not to take away from the top players and the best players in the world who put on great performances in tournaments and stuff like that. Your tournament organizers, your staff, your bracket runners, they are the reason we're able to do this stuff. And I didn't really understand it as well as I do now when I first started this stuff. I really felt like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. They're doing the most work. Then I put myself in this position and I'm now like, oh God, yeah, I'm doing the most work. This is hard. So again, just to lighten my workload, competing is definitely going to come to a halt for me. I know I said I would be competing in Street Fighter 6 and stuff like that, but it's probably not going to happen just because learning a new game takes a long time. New fighting games are hard, right? I've been doing this for a while, and learning any fighting game is a big task. Whether you're getting into Killer Instinct for the first time in 10 years or you're learning a brand new fighting game that just came out, fighting games are hard. And for me to put the time in to get to where I'd want to be as a player, it'd be too much for me. I don't have that kind of time. And I don't want to compete and half-ass it either, because that's not me. A lot of you know that I'm probably one of the sweatiest individuals of all time. And for me to enter a tournament and be a competitive player and not be on my game the way that I have been in Killer Instinct for so long, that's just not how I roll. So I don't want to do that. And I don't want to be a parody of myself in any way as a competitor. So I'm not saying I'll never enter a tournament again, but there's always Combo Breaker, right? That's pretty much it. I know this kind of turned into a little bit of a rant, and these videos from me are never very organized because I'm just speaking off the dome and I'm speaking from here. So hope you guys are able to put up with that. And I want to say thank you again for all of the continued support over these past almost 3 years of being a content creator. Has been one of the most incredible experiences of my entire life. I thought that traveling, and going everywhere and being able to compete on the biggest stages was like the peak for me in the FGC, and that I could never get better than that. But all I had to do was do this stuff right from the comfort of my own home. And this has truly been the most life-changing experience for me. And I'll never be able to forget this. This is insane. So thank you all so much. And I look forward to what the future brings. I'll see you around.